Alright, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks here to bring you another box opening. This time we're going into Phyrexia, all will be one. Going a little back there, but the Mox Alpha number says that it has a fairly decent EV, so I'm going to crack it. And we're going to see if we can hit it. Their target is 122, but again, this is on average, and we're just going to do one box today. So I don't expect to actually hit that number, but if we can hit our number, that's fine. I think I got this, the average was like $70 a box, something like that. I'll look it up and let you know at the end when we have some value to calculate. Let's jump in. I'm going to try to move through this pretty quickly since I'm sure everyone has seen these cards. They've been out for a while, but it does seem like sales are happening. You know what? I wonder if I should do the showcase separation. Probably not. Probably not. Oh, I like these lands. And I doubt any of the tokens are worth anything. Let me just quickly pull up TCG Player. Okay, crazy. Yeah, I forgot there's all sorts of crazy stuff in this product. I don't think it's all available in draft, but there's the weird foils with the Phyrexia symbol on them, right? Yeah, when I go to do the singles, what I'll do is I'll find out what commons are like 10 cents and above, and then I'll just sort them out by hand. Ooh, that is a hit. Phyrexian Obliterator. Let's see if I see that on the first page or two. I don't see it on the first page. It's still a hit. I'm just not sure. It's probably a couple bucks if it's not on the first page or two. There are so many crazy foils in this set that it definitely takes up some space, and they're all worth something, so it's pretty cool. The maybe not. The Super Phyrexian foiled one, which this is not, as you can see, is $7. So this is probably like $2. That's fine. I'll take a $2 card and some fancy lands. I didn't see any tokens that are worth anything, and you know how I love hunting valuable tokens. So I guess all the tokens go in the trash. I remember that card. Tommy liked that card, I think. We did play a little bit of Phyrexia. I think it was on Arena only, but we definitely talked about some of those cards. Put the foils there. Love the lands. Phyrexian Golem. I don't know. I'll check the foils after, or the tokens afterwards. I feel bad just tossing them when I'm not sure if any of them are worth anything. I know some of them in New Capenna were worth 10 to 25 cents. That's worth selling. I didn't actually make any sales with those yet, so there is the throughput to consider when it comes to these things. Just because it's worth 20 cents does not mean anyone's buying it. That is the trick with this. All this stuff could just be sitting on a shelf forever. Now, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think that's the case. Do I pull these showcases aside? I kind of want to, just to check them out afterwards. I'll just go through it. This is cool looking. Wow. It's like an anime art. I don't think it's one of the big hits, but that's pretty neat. I like that. Poison counter. I know that's very, very common because I remember opening some before. I think I opened... What did I open? Was it one of the bundles or something? I don't remember. I definitely opened some Phyrexia before because I really wanted to just experience it. Pretty sure I recorded it. It's probably on the channel somewhere. This is the better one, right? With the Phyrexian language. I wonder how much people will care about Phyrexian stuff in the future. I mean, the meta always changes, and the cards are useful for certain things, etc., but is it all over, right? I know they seeded the story so that they can come back. They basically said not all of them were decimated, but most of them were decimated, kind of lending it to the idea that they went back to sleep. Or they're gone for now, right? But the reality is... Magic's not very consistent with its stories. And after all the build up to get here, people were pretty disappointed with the kill off. Like they just died. Their head just got chopped off. People were kind of sad about that. So I wonder if that's going to end up being a thing in the future. They come back, maybe rebuild it, revisit the concept. I don't know. We'll see. I was listening to Kitchen Table TCG, which I know some people don't like, but I think they're worth listening to sometimes. And they were talking about how the move, I would say, is what they were calling it, basically, for Magic going into the future is to actually build on their own IP, like actually get real writers that can. That's not fair to the writers, but get people who can consistently build the story or come up with a system where they can consistently build the story. Because it's been all over the place. Now, their writers in the past have been great. I grew up with some, magic lore, magic books, things like that. I loved it. I think I talked about it a lot around Brothers War and that sort of stuff. Just being enthralled with the concept. Nice. That's probably a nice card there. So I know it's got that nostalgic feeling for those who were around, in Magic in the early days. But the reality is that the story has gotten all over the place. And there's been, I think, multiple kill-offs where they just kind of ignore the fact that they killed characters off and brought them back and things like that. It got very inconsistent, and it has been for a long time. There's a lot of really cool story. If you know some of it, feel free to point me towards things that are interesting, because I missed a big chunk of Magic's history. I was not involved. Like, I was in the early days, but I was not involved in the mid days. I would say the 2000s and in that time frame, basically, where I think the majority of people were that are into it now. So anyways, point being that the story's gotten a little crazy. They were saying that it would be cool if they got some more consistency with it, if they were able to actually kind of come up with a way to string all the stories together in a consistent way, build their IP, make it valuable on its own instead of just worrying about other people's IP. I get it. I think it's a cool idea. I would love it personally because I like the worlds of Magic, right? I like the concepts and the story and the Planeswalker and all that stuff. But the reality is it's a tall order after, literally decades of not keeping it consistent. And I would hate to be that writer. And I'm no writer, so I don't know. Maybe it's easier than it sounds, but it sounds really hard to kind of backtrack the reality. Now, they could do a reset of some sort, obviously. They could just, start over somehow, decimate the entire universe through story. That's a cool looking one. And then, from there, build from the ground up. Maybe even bring some of the characters over, you do a brain wipe on them, or the whole universes blow up and then rebuild that way. I don't know. I think it's an interesting concept. I don't think they'll do it, though, I'll be honest. So I'm just sitting here looking at all these showcase cards, and I'm thinking, is this one like Wilds where I have to have a separate section for showcase cards in my little bin? I'll probably be opening more boxes of these. So I don't know. Not sure. Might need to do it. So yeah, what do you guys think of the story in Magic? Do you think it's worthwhile? Is it worth listening to? Is it worth following, or screw it, just give us cards? They might as well be letters or something simple on it, or maybe some art, but consistency doesn't matter. Ooh, that is definitely one of the hits. I think it's a $5 hit, but it's still a hit. I'll take it. That is not a cat. I don't know about you, but when I think cat, that is not. That guy is not in a good mood. That's a 2/2 cat. That's what happens when it becomes not a 1/1 cat. It's a 2/2 cat. Look at that dude. That's a Phyrexian cat. That's what their cats look like. God, what the hell? All right. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes your cat wakes up in the morning and picks up a sword and comes at you like that. Jesus. My cats sometimes look at me like that. They don't pick up swords, though. They don't look like that. They just have the ferociousness of the face. Mostly during playtime when they want to murder little toys and stuff, and they get in that mode. You ever get that where your cat, eyes go big and it's like everything is murder? It doesn't really matter. There's nothing but murder left in the universe for that cat. Oops. That's definitely a thing. Cats do that. Man, I'm getting a lot of the good lands. I like that. Yeah, lands have been a staple for my sales. I love that. I like these full art lands. I think they really do move product, which is nice. Interesting. I just realized there aren't standard lands. They're just full art lands in this entire box, aren't there? Fantastic. Oh, nice. I don't know what this one's worth. It's not on the page in front of me, but I'll look it up after. We'll let you know. Samurai. It's cool, Samurai. I know. I think I would like a consistent story. It would be cool if they could do it, build some IP, build a, show. But I know they tried that recently and just sold off the company that was making movies and stuff. I liked the D&D movie. I know that they sold off the company that did it, but I personally enjoyed it. But I'm a D&D nerd, and it had a lot of fan service in it. So, did I miss one? No, okay. So for me, it was fantastic. For the average viewer of movies, I'm sure they were like, "What the heck?" Because it was definitely tongue-in-cheek. A little cheesy, a little but that's D&D. If you've ever played D&D, I don't know a single party that doesn't go off the rails on the regular, and they definitely built that into the story, which I thought was hilarious. So I guess we're just not a big enough movie watching demographic for it to be worth it. There's also questions about management, obviously at Hasbro and their decision making on different things and what they're trying to do. So I'm sure that plays into it a bit, and selling that asset off probably bought them some time to recover from the transition from the 2020 timeframe of collectibles where they could sell anything at any price to our current situation where it seems like, oops, that all goes. Make sure that one's not, where it's basically like you need to essentially reduce print runs and bring things down to reality. Obviously, we're post-pandemic economically when it comes to cards and that sort of thing. So it's going to be a slower period, less sales, and that's just reality, right? It's a macro environmental situation you got to take into consideration if you're going to be selling cards. It's just how it is. Got to look at the macro. Like I said in the other video, I don't know, maybe a month ago or two, macro comes first. Second comes your business decisions, and third's how you're serving your customers. As much as the second and third, that guy's upset. He didn't get his coffee. The two are interlinked. How you serve your customers is in the business decisions, but the business decision without consideration for the macro, that's why I put it in the middle, is a good way to get wiped out. What I was saying in the other video was basically like, I know companies that were well run. Nice. Elish Norn. Love it. I love that card. I love Elish Norn in general, just the concept of Elish Norn. But what I was saying is like any company can die just from a macro environmental thing, even if they take these things into consideration. And that is more so true in smaller, newer companies, but the reality is like a management team that's not considering macro is not doing their job effectively. It's interesting. A legendary artifact creature token, the Hollow Sentinel. So that's what's his name? Shoot, I'm blanking on his name. I have him. I have the old version of that card too, one of the first versions. Picked up some stuff way back when everything was popping. There's our angry cat again. So anyways, yeah, I think consideration of the macro, the changes and trends that we're seeing in cards, card collecting, etc., is a viable reason to really look at business practices and decide. I don't know if that's a good hit, but I'll take it. Cool. It's important, and clearly the trends are shifting. Oh, that's a $4 card right there. It's on the page in front of me. I didn't even bother to look up. That's how little I regarded it. What a mistake. $4 cards are nice. All right, we're almost done here. Coming into the close. It's a cool swamp. This guy without his coffee. Sometimes I look like that without my coffee. It's true. That's how I look every day of the week until I get my coffee. And then I'm fine. Everything's okay after that, Coffee is the lifeblood that drives the Phyrexian engine of John forward. I guess I'm a Phyrexian engine now. We just made that a myth. John the Phyrexian engine. Fueled by not gook or whatever the oil, the Phyrexian oil. I'm not fueled by that. The Phyrexian oil is coffee. That's it. We figured it out, guys. See, now that looks more like a cat. That other cat has a sword and is bipedal and doesn't make any sense to me, even as a Phyrexian, which rarely makes sense. Oh, man. It's funny. The Phyrexians have been kind of in it since the very beginning, the Mishra time frame. But like the long, long road to the realization of it and the very, very big changes. Like these Phyrexian look nothing like the stuff in the early days. If you go look at the early art for Phyrexian, the concept's there, right? This whole like machine hell thing. I think that was based on Hellraiser because, as you know, with Magic, they pull from pop culture to kind of drive their creative process. Hellraiser and that sort of stuff was really big at that time. The machine hell concept, which was, you know, a thing I grew up with and loved and thought was fun. And they built off of that sort of thing. But the original art was nothing like the current Phyrexians. I mean, obviously there's been some story development too, but I think they just kind of refined what they were over time. All right, last pack. Let's see what we get. Oh my God, there we go. Oh, damn it. I just did the thing. I did the thing. Oh, no. Okay. There we go. Ooh, Koth. Fire of Resistance. Another rebel. That guy's ready to conquer the world. He has his coffee. Clearly has his coffee. He's ready. Or she's ready. Actually, now that I look at it, I think she might be a she. Yep. Whatever. They are ready to conquer the world because they have coffee. Not Phyrexian coffee, because that will turn you into a Phyrexian, but just regular coffee. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the prices on this, and then I will sum it up and show you what we got. All right, we're back. Looks like we made the goal, $80.45, which is above what my target was of, I think it was like 72, 73, something like that. So pretty good overall. Not great, not the 122 that what's it called, Mox Alpha promises, but not too bad. So let's review real quick. Under $1 cards, giant stack, including foils, obviously, but they'll still be sellable because they're, you know, probably most of them are above 16 cents. These two columns here are the basically over $1 to $10 range, and then these are 10 plus, with All Will Be One being the big hit at like 20, I think. So yeah, pretty good box. It worked out. I'm gonna stick this up in inventory, and there's a couple other things I need to do. I want to go and do some filtered searches on TCG Player on the price of commons and uncommons, because I didn't even go through this giant stack of uncommons, but there might be some in there worth selling. And then, of course, the commons are probably not, but sometimes it's like 1 to, 3 to 5 type commons that you can search out and put in your inventory. So anyways, that's the plan. Going to go check those out. And then all this stuff will be up on the shop. Adding a new set. Phyrexia, here we come. Hope you enjoyed the box opening. If you did, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Until next time. Have a good one.